Okay.
There we are. There's one back. There's Mitch back.
We're back.
Waiting on Roger and Rick and Steve.
We had 20 people in there.
Yeah. God,
Man, that
shut
sucks.
down a live stream with 20 people.
I'm really sorry, guys. I was trying to stop sharing screens and I got confused.
Hey, you don't have to tell me.
Welcome back, Roger.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Now, it's funny. In my pop-out chats, I have the old one and the new one.
Yeah, I haven't opened up the chat yet.
Who's going to come back? They all are going, what the hell happened?
Yeah.
All right.
We don't have to tell them.
It's all they're doing.
Chat, pop out the new chat. There we go.
Yeah, I see the link twice. Well,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I put it in there a couple times.
all right.
Me.
There it is.
That's Trevor.
I don't know. Me is not going to suffice. We need a pink poodle times 7.
He must be tired, or else he would have come on.
So anyway, Mel, what I was telling you about, if you see this little red hood on the camera, can you see it?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a little 3D printed piece that you can buy for $1 from Race Day Quads. And what happens with this little drone is when you bang into things, the camera, it pops the camera out of its mouth, and it's a real pain in the neck, and it's a pain in the neck to get back into the tabs you have to get in there. So this little mount clips behind the camera and locks it in place, and has a little hood too to protect it, so you can't. So for 99 cents, that was a tremendous investment for this little drone.
Okay. Okay.
Race Day Quads. I don't know if you ever heard of them or not, but
No, I haven't. But
you will.
I've got 2 3D printers, so I'm sure I can.
Yeah.
Pull it up again.
Have you mastered them, Mel?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No worries, Jim. Yep. I can make anything I want.
I so want to get one, but I don't have enough that I'd want to print yet, you know? Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, because now they say you can do the carbon fiber.
Yep.
I'm paying $100 for, as you well know, the gimbal bracket that holds that, like the X5 camera up.
Uh-huh.
Well, why can't we just 3D print that stupid thing?
We can.
You can print anything, I guess.
Yeah.
For 99.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, you can print that. In fact, you're talking about on the Inspire 1 version 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I've got one. I could get the measurements off of it and make one.
Oh, if you could make me one, that'd be sweet. Because I got 2 birds sitting up here, and that be their problem.
Oh, really?
That's not a Matrice below that, is it?
Yes, it is. A Matrice 210 RTK.
Oh, God. What does the RTK mean?
Real-time kinetic.
Oh,
as
gotcha.
far as
I
its
was wondering what that
location.
is.
Location positioning.
That's like 10 grand, isn't it?
Well, with all the equipment, you can double that. But anyway, the thing is, when you get around the electrical poles, I was having huge problems around electrical lines. It would do the toilet bowl effect with the Fire Pro and all that. And I can't be taking out the neighborhood electric lines. I can't afford it. I don't have enough, they'd be taking my house away. So
Yeah.
So it's a shield for your antenna, is it?
it's got EMI resistance, electromechanical interference resistance. And with the RTK, it's a double, figure your regular GPS connections.
Yeah.
This is a base station directly to the aircraft. So it's not relying on GPS.
Okay.
That's right behind you there. You see it sit right behind him?
Yeah, that's that right there.
Station. Yeah.
That's the base station.
Oh, that looks like a diversity unit of some sort.
It's
But that's not what it is, obviously.
DJI ground station. And they won't tell you where its exact middle is. Is the middle from the antenna? Is it from the base plate? You know, this if you're trying to do CORS, continuous operating reference systems, which tells you exactly where you are on the planet for surveying and all that.
Right. Yes. More exact. Yeah.
You need to know this stuff. And
Yeah, you do.
DJI won't give that out.
Hmm.
They're
That's
a
good. Same
royal
reason
pain in
the
the ass.
Same reason the military dumbs down GPS, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
You know.
But you can still with a system like that, you can still get centimeter
Centimeter.
accuracy anyway, can't you?
Yeah, they guarantee 1 to 2 centimeter accuracy.
Yeah.
But they just don't they won't tell you how.
And where it's from. So many people in their forums are saying, because if I'm zeroing to, if I just have one guy, instead of going out and buying those plates you throw down on the ground and leave it there for a day.
2 different colors or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, I forget the name of that thing, but they're $1,000 each.
Holy.
So if you have a survey guy just drop one stick, that's all you need.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, you're good for the neighborhood once you have one stick down.
You do a lot of that? Surveying?
Not enough. Not enough.
Yeah.
I got in with a development company, so as they build, they call me.
Okay. Is there a lot of competition with that in your area or no?
No, but we have a very high concentration of 107 pilots. Before any of this started in Brevard County, we had 3,500 Part 107 pilots.
Okay.
That's a lot if you look on the amount of 107s per county per state.
Right.
I think the only one that beats that is guys out in California, in LA area,
Wow.
Yeah. High concentration.
It's huge, man. Just too many.
Yeah.
You can look up how many 107 pilots are in the county in your state.
Everybody can. Yeah, it's on the FAA site. I'll send you the link.
I did not know that. Yeah, put the link in chat. That'd be cool.
That'll just depress you, Mel.
It will.
Well, it might, but I'm
Everybody
really
wants
kind of
peace and
curious
pie.
to know. I mean, because I live in the boondocks, and my county's not very big.
Well, see, then you get to charge your normal and actual pricing. When you're around here, people are doing,
Yeah.
real estate for $40. Get away.
Yeah, it's crazy. I
Yeah, lowballing.
worth going out and
Welcome
doing.
back, Peter. Yeah. See, I charge $200 for a real estate video that's
And that should be minimum.
like 20 seconds and 10 still images with it.
Yeah.
If I do indoors and stuff, all that doubles. And I even showed my realtor how I could take a 360 camera, put it on a tripod in the living room, walk out of
Get
the
all of
room,
Yeah.
and let it record for 30 seconds, and then go move it into the kitchen and let it record for, go around the corner, get out of the shot, take
Put
it down
that
the
up on the
hallway, take
You
it
could
to the
do-
bedroom, bathroom, all that stuff.
Yep.
And combine.
Walk through
You
the
can
house.
actually do the photogrammetry and the 3D modeling for free if you're willing to just put in the time. I don't pay for any software to do any of my modeling or photogrammetry. Something very simple. I'll type it in here.
Hi,
And
Jody.
if you got the time and you're interested,
need
and
to-
it means
You
anything to
need to
you,
close, Jim. You need to close that other chat, because if you posted the link, it didn't show up in the correct chat.
Well, he can't post a link unless he's a moderator, I thought.
Oh, that's right. He can't.
None of us can post anything because none of us are moderators on your channel.
you see that QGIS there?
Yeah.
That's quantum graphics.
Okay. Let me just fix you so you can post links for a minute. And I don't do like some of the guys do, where every person in their chat is a moderator. I don't do that.
I'll tell you when that comes in handy, when you get a troll, man. When you
Yeah.
get a troll and you got everybody in there as a
Yeah.
moderator, and it don't last a half a second.
Smackdown.
Hey, Drone Shots, how are you?
They get smacked down anyway. But
Yeah.
Well, back up to 16 people.
well, that's a plus. We're only 4 short. That's
Yeah.
good. Man, that sucks that I crashed. I crashed my own stream.
We were talking about how good your computer was.
Yeah, I crashed my own stream. Imagine that.
All right. If you're at all interested in professional work, this is the link for a free, so you don't have to pay Drone Deploy or any of those people.
Right.
anything, not a damn dime. And here's the beauty of it. Nothing goes to the cloud. It's all done on your computer.
I like that.
So
Yeah,
it's
that's-
100% secure. QGIS
Wow.
3.0, quantum graphics.
And
Is it free?
minimize
Yes, it's free.
and
Okay.
New shortcut. Control V.
Now, read up on it because it works on a virtual machine inside your computer. So you're adding Python and VM.
The quantum
I-
graphics.
Gone over
Yeah.
my head.
But not as much as you think, Roger. If I
No?
can do it, you can do it.
I'm pretty savvy with that sort of thing, but I don't really have. I've done one property job. It was actually, I don't know if you guys know who this is, but Rick Mercer from Rick Mercer Report. It's Canadian. It was a Canadian show. Anyway, he's a friend of mine. He lives in He has a property here in Newfoundland, and he was in Toronto at the time, and he was having a property dispute with his neighbor, and he wanted me to go out and do an aerial. Just do a basic survey, just a visual survey of his property from above. It was $300. It's awesome.
Sure.
Yeah. Being a professional drone pilot anymore is getting tougher and tougher and tougher.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I
everybody.
think they're going to squeeze us down from the 400 down to 200 anyway to make room for the deliveries.
You mean AGL?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Nothing would surprise me. But for real estate photography, you don't need to be higher than 200.
That's exactly right. Yeah, I agree with Mitch there, man. You don't need to be anywhere even near 200 feet, really.
No,
100 feet, 150 feet.
As long
Yeah.
as you can go above it and get the rooftop in.
Yeah.
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 Whatever that height is for that house.
I've been above that berg that I recently shot at 400 feet AGL. I couldn't get the whole berg in the shot. I couldn't get it in there. But this was it's bigger than a house, obviously. Most houses, anyway.
Where'd Mel go?
Yeah, you
Oof.
can run that on an NAS.
I'll check that out.
You're computing off your own computer, but you can dump all the info into the NAS. Yeah, and it runs in a virtual machine on Python. So you download, in addition to it, Python 3.0 and VMware.
Rick,
So-
I'm seeing you in stereo. Oh, there you go. Okay. Saw two Rick Halbers there for a minute.
Yeah, it's
That can't
something
be
happened.
That was
Oh,
cool.
it could be real bad.
How'd you do that?
It was cool. It was really cool. One of them wasn't moving though. So Mel, when's your little tiny hawk coming?
It'll be here in a day or two.
Oh, cool.
Hi, Angela.
You just ordered it, didn't you?
Amazon takes a day, 2 days.
No, I ordered it
I got to tell
a
you
couple
something.
days
Mitch.
ago, Friday
I gotta
or
tell you
Saturday or whenever. I ordered the Tiny Hawk stuff when Ken Heron's show was on because I called Jerry Calverley and said, "Hey, I'm going to pull the trigger on this. What do I need to get?" So he told me.
Rodney Bell told me about this, to sit there and hold the other tablet so I could see chat while I'm doing a live stream. I ordered this at like 10 p.m. at night. It was here the next day.
Yeah,
You're crazy.
I got one of those.
I ordered some stuff from Amazon today. It'll be here tomorrow.
I don't know how they do it.
They have it. They all have it all in their distribution center. They stock, they in a fulfillment center, and they have, it's either Lakeland or Davenport, right here.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you something about the transportation industry, boys. It goes 24 hours a day.
Well, yeah.
I
I
have the
was
exact same one
shocked.
holding my iPad Mini right now, including that piece that you just showed,
Yeah.
and a fairly rinky-dink 4-section tripod. It was $20
Yeah.
Canadian.
Yeah.
And just think, if you had a 3D printer, you could make it.
And it can.
That's true.
now this is separate from the cheap stand, but even the cheap stand is aluminum.
Yeah, mine is aluminum too, but it's a lot cheaper than what you have there.
This just look. Let me tell you something. I think it was $26.
Just yeah,
Yeah, you can get tripods real cheap.
Yeah.
yeah. It doesn't need a whole much weight is the thing. So
I was
As long as you don't have a
surprised it
stiff
came
wind.
with the level button though. Most of them, won't be as accurate as that.
no, mine doesn't have a level. I don't think. Yes, it does. It has a level.
See?
Shit.
Right? That's incredible.
Not that I'd ever use the level.
Hey,
But
Mel,
Yeah.
Well, that's good for the RTK ground
got to
station.
do
So,
a unboxing of your drone tomorrow.
tomorrow, you're rubbing it in.
Eh, eh.
No, I'm not rubbing it in.
Man, you know what, Rick?
wait, did I catch that? Did Rick just say he's going to do an unboxing of your drone?
I'm
He
not
already
sure.
has it?
I'm not sure, but Rick needs to remember.
Here we go.
I do live in Tennessee. We are kind of redneck around here.
Mhm.
And I've got his DJI Osmo action camera. And my neighbor, 20 minutes away, Mr. Ken Herron, has got a $3,000 Ultramatic super duper whoopie doo slow motion camera. And I've got
Oh,
a
that's
3030
right.
that I'm extremely good with.
Ah. See if you can hit the lens.
And I've got Rick's Osmo action camera.
Mhm.
Yeah. I
Just
got
make sure you roll the footage on the Osmo as the bullets entering the lens.
Absolutely, in slow motion. Absolutely.
slow motion. Well,
I
yeah,
had, it's
check it
funny
out.
because I asked Rick, I said, hey, I said, do you mind if I get it wet? He goes, no, go ahead. It's made for that. Besides, it's got DJI Care Refresh. So I wonder what DJI Care Refresh would say with a
Yeah.
30 caliber bullet hole through it.
I think we ought to find out, Mel. It would be an interesting experiment.
No, I don't want to have to buy Rick another camera.
Ken's
No.
already done the firearms thing though with the slow mo. I remember seeing that there about a month ago
You
or
did a
so.
couple of them, I think. Didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah,
We've
40,
had-
45 or something.
We've had guys out here where I fly, Mitch, out in the south end of the county, who have been, they shoot their shotguns for practice out there. And they've taken shots at my bird.
Oh, that would be nice. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That reminds me, Philly was saying he thinks his drone was shot down.
Oh,
Really?
the drone that he lost on that night flight, his brand new replacement Mavic.
He only went up 200 feet.
I thought he said the battery exploded or something.
He says he's got a hole in it. That he thinks someone
Is
shot
that
it
right?
down.
In the city.
In the city.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because he said the max it went up was
Whoa.
200 feet.
Yeah,
That would
well,
have
the
to be
height
a hell of a
wouldn't
good
make any
shot.
difference.
That would be, well, he's got all those bright strobe lights on it.
He said
Yeah,
as soon as he
exactly.
turned the light on, that's when it went down.
Yep.
Well,
And he's got a
Yeah,
guy
we did.
there.
200 feet's
Yeah.
only
That's not very far.
It's not very much.
60
No.
yards.
No,
so
plus he's got
65
guys.
yards.
He's got they all sit on top of those buildings. It looks like every building has a lounge up on top of it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So if you're shooting from the top of the building, not a long shot
In
at
the
all.
city.
I kind
Yeah,
of
man.
suspect the fact that it was a replacement drone, and it's probably I'm more inclined to think it had a problem.
They sent him a bum one.
Yeah,
Could be.
refurb or something that they really didn't fix.
Wait, now, what problem did he have with the first one that ended up in him getting
He had a
replacement?
problem where whenever it got really cold, the IMU would stop working.
Oh, right.
The drone
yes,
would just
yes,
kind of drop right down, and anything below about 40 degrees. So he
Right.
kept flying it all winter, but then he finally sent it back, and they sent him this new one, second flight. Fell right out of the sky. He's lucky it didn't land on top of somebody.
Yeah, because that would
Yeah.
change things a lot. Because that's
Yeah.
that's been a worry and concern for me with Philly and what he's doing there. And I've kind of been open with him on that. But laws are different over there. But I'm always I don't know. I'm
I can't
not over
believe
city
those-
like that.
Those people in that restaurant haven't had him
Oh, yeah.
arrested by now.
He already had visits from the FAA from what he says, but
Yeah, that was mostly to do with the stadium, though. That was a bit of a more of a higher infraction as far as they're concerned, I guess.
I've looked. A lot of guys fly. Billy Kyle flies
Yeah.
all over Philadelphia.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
You know,
you wouldn't get away with that here.
I just don't see why you have to do that. I don't get it,
I agree too, actually.
you know?
And once you've done it, you've done it. I mean, you're continuing to do the same kind of
Yeah.
thing.
You're
Billy,
egging
if you're
on the
watching,
law by continuing.
no disrespect, but yeah, I mean, you just it's just a continuation of the same thing. The sunrises and stuff and sunsets are nice. I mean, I appreciate that. I mean, just a straight up and down, really, it's all you need. But
I do the sunrises with him now, and
Yeah.
you know, it's not always pretty either. I had one week that was all haze.
yeah,
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 you don't have a choice on that.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
But
he tries to tell me to make it different. How much different can I make it? I mean, I'll go from my house to I-95, which might be a mile and a half away, but there's nothing interesting to do
Yeah.
besides.
Go out to the beach.
Yeah.
How about
exactly.
these guys? How about these guys? No, now, seriously, line of sight, right? LOS.
Yeah.
Period.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Let's not even.
I
Yeah.
mean, my Mavics get, a couple thousand feet away and it's a speck. I can't see which direction it's going. I can't see what it's doing.
I mean, yeah.
I'll
You-
tell you what, though.
I mean,
probably
even
dark twos on it.
maybe even, not that far. But so line of sight is just like out the window. Oh yeah, there it is right there. I see it. Don't you see it? You ain't looking.
Yeah,
You don't see it. I see it right there. That's all you got to say.
Yeah.
But
I'm agreeing with you on that.
The thing is, and the only
I
thing
got my
I
Mavic Zoom.
recommend is the sunrise shots. It is still partially dark out, which makes it easier to see the Arc 2 lights.
you're allowed 30 minutes prior
Before.
and after. So
Yeah.
And after.
like the rule of driving your car when you got to turn your lights on. Same.
But if you have-
Same as hunting and fishing, something.
When
Well, it does
everybody's
make it
doing
easy.
range test on the new Mavics when they came out, right? Everybody's doing range test.
Yeah.
Bill, the drone reviewer, did a range test by flying it back and forth in a straight line to see
I
how
saw
far
that.
it would fly.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, what kind of ridiculous content?
That's
Now
a
it's not a
joke.
range test. That's a battery test maybe, but not
Yeah.
a range test.
That's nothing. Yeah.
I was in Oklahoma. I stopped in Big Cabin. Lloyd drove up from Muskogee to Big Cabin. We got on the phone. He took a spare battery with him and he followed my drone out an old dirt country road in Oklahoma with eyes on it, with me on the phone with him.
Oh, that's legal. You can do that.
3.5 miles, and the drone decided it had to come home or it wouldn't have enough power to get back.
Right.
I was trying to test the 5-mile OcuSync.
How far did you
Man.
get, by the way?
3.5 miles.
Oh, okay.
That's
But it
not
wasn't-
bad either.
It wasn't a failure because of the OcuSync. It was a failure because I didn't have enough go to get back if I kept going. I thought about landing the drone, having him put a new battery in and keep going. But I decided not to. And I don't really know why I decided not to. The wind was a little bit up. We were flying crosswind. And so it wouldn't have been a wind issue coming back or anything like that, coming up short.
You might have had a problem when the drone was on the ground 3.5 miles away, actually connecting to it.
That might have
That might
been
have
an
been a
issue.
problem too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Down below everything.
But
Behind
right there,
stuff.
so if I can't get it to power up or anything, I just tell him, okay, Lloyd, turn the battery off and bring it home,
Yeah.
But 3.5 miles at, I think I was about 300 feet in the air, 250 feet in the air, something like that.
Hmm.
High enough that I knew I'd be well above any kind of structure that would be over there,
Hmm.
that I might
Well,
not be able to
that's
see.
plenty good.
I'm lucky. Mine, the farthest I go, like I-95, like I said, is about 1.5 miles away. And again, there's just not a whole lot to show once you've seen it. I think seeing the
No,
country
that's right.
that you guys live in is a lot more prettier than seeing my Walmart and my Dunkin' Donuts.
And that's
I mean,
the whole reason that I do it, and it's the only reason I do it is when I'm in a situation like one of my videos. There is one called Tours Cove. I go out over the water, over the North Atlantic. I fly
Right.
out to one island. I fly out to another island. I turn around and I come back. That was a 2 kilometer straight out, 2 kilometers all the way back. I'm over water. I'm over an island. I'm not over trees
Yep.
and city and like
Yep.
all this,
Yep.
people and cars and
Yep.
roadways and all this other stuff. I'm out over. If something goes horribly wrong, unless it's one of those DJI flyaways that it ends up going back to Shenzhen or whatever, it's going to end up in the ocean. It's
Well,
going
I
to be
don't
my
know
loss.
what you've got there, but here in Florida, we've got 15 feet either side of the street that the city owns.
Right.
It's called the property line.
It depends on.
So I've
it
got the
depends on
road
town.
plus
Some
30
places
feet.
it's 25, and it depends on the street too.
Yeah, see?
So,
So
you're
that
not
gives
allowed
us
to
a
County
cross
roads
wide
that.
berth
You're
to
25
saying.
fly on.
You're not allowed to cross that? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying that gives us a wide berth to actually fly on before we're dropping onto somebody's property. I could be,
Yeah, but if you got it a mile away, you're not going to be really able to tell that, especially if you're looking forward. Like,
Well-
if you got to cross that road, then, the
there's a
potential.
point at which there's no argument to that.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, you can look straight down by pressing the C2 button,
Yeah.
but there's a point at which you're right. I mean, it's not going to drop straight down.
Right. Yes, exactly. Yeah. And just for me, I find it a personal thing to try to avoid those situations where the improbable may become, probable. And
How much risk do you want to take personally?
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And if I'm going to take the risk, I want it to be me taking the risk of losing my bird. Like I've flown equal distance out over just raw countryside where there's nothing underneath. I don't mind doing that because I know, geez, if the thing falls from the sky, it's going to end up in a tree. I'm probably never going to find it again. But that's my loss. I don't want it to land on somebody's car.
Right.
Even a car, like where you're protected. It doesn't
Yeah.
hit a person. It hits a car windscreen. It frightens the living daylights out of grandma. Maybe she goes off the road. I don't know. I think about this stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's personal responsibility.
That's exactly
That's
it.
where, yep, that's exactly it.
It's
That's
fully
why when I
understood.
That's why when I did mine, it was out over a dirt road out in the middle of Oklahoma.
There you go.
So,
Exactly. Yeah.
Like my Saturday morning flights. Do you guys disagree with that? I mean, nobody's out. I'm flying on the right of ways. So I feel like I'm safe.
Oh, yeah.
It's your personal feeling, Jim. It's your personal feeling, Jim. Here's my thought on it. It's illegal to fly over traffic, period.
Right.
So if there's one car goes by while you're crossing the road, you either need to be looking down and wait for that car to go by,
Yep.
or don't cross the road.
I've had that.
Yeah.
In fact, they're building condominiums in Melbourne. And the other day I took a flight and there's a big crane about 150 feet up on the property. I actually had to wait for the traffic light to turn red so I could swing around the crane into the traffic lanes, but there was no traffic there.
Hey, I think if you're doing that, I think that's being responsible. I don't mind anybody taking considerations like that. I'll never ever, come down on anybody for doing that. It's just complete disregard. I have and it's your own thing. It's your own thing, and I don't want to. I'm not mentioning names or anything. Yeah, and you're just making it look like that's the normal thing that it's okay to do for anywhere, and it's not.
Remember your
It's
field of
just-
view, though. If you're seeing a car in any pictures of mine, you can bet your butt I'm nowhere near that car.
Oh yeah. There is that too. I understand that.
Yeah.
And you can zoom in post and stuff and make it, it makes it very hard to discern where the drone was.
Yes.
Sonari can attest to this. I was in Fort Smith, Arkansas a couple of weeks ago, and I found a really interesting place with some silos and things. I'm not going to talk much about it because I'm still editing the video on it, but it was a very busy road. This place was right on a very busy road, and I had to be really, really careful when I was doing my orbits and things to be paying attention to where the cars were, so that when I crossed the road, I wasn't actually flying over the cars.
Yeah,
Right.
and that's
And
another
she-
consideration.
And
Yeah.
she
If
was
you're in-
my
if you're in a-
spotter, so I
if you're
had
in
a
a point-
spotter there too.
Oh, if you had a spotter, that's a different story. Yeah, I think that's being proactive. But in certain situations, like what you were saying earlier, where you're doing a point of interest, you've crossed a road or whatever, but you're doing a point of interest, and you bring it out slightly, and now your arc is going to come back over that highway, but you're not looking at that highway. You're looking at your point of interest, because
Right.
that's what your camera's focused on.
But you can
know.
also still see that there's whether there's going to be cars there or not.
You just have to
in
change
our
your camera
area,
angle.
We've got the traffic lights.
Yeah, see,
I'm
I was
standing
standing
right
right on the side of the road. I was standing on the sidewalk, so I could see
Yeah.
where the drone was. I could see where the cars were. So,
Exactly. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
your proximity is going to be important there.
and
All I
based
do is
on my
keep
depth
out
of
of the
field
shot.
with the drone 1,000 feet away, you know,
Yeah, that's different.
and my depth of view of where my brain processed where the cars were, I don't think I actually crossed the road when there were any cars directly under me,
Mhm.
but it was an active roadway. I mean, there was traffic there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I had to be careful. I had to,
Yep.
you know,
I'm right there, and I try hard as heck to keep myself out of view. But as you can see in many of my videos, if you look, my car is there. Well, you all know my blue Chevy HHR. By now,
If we didn't know it, we know it now.
yeah.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
You know, but the point is that you know that I'm standing right there.
Mhm.
You know, my drone is
Yeah.
never out of my sight.
yeah.
I
yeah.
can't afford that. I'm not rich.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Based on that stack behind you, I'd beg to differ with that.
Well, he was rich now. See, he was.
He used to be rich. Now he's drone rich. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did a recent one. My last video that I posted, I did with a Spark. Other than the cop car in the beginning, which I didn't see until the last second. Actually, I didn't see it until post. I did actually make almost 100% sure that, like, okay, when I cross this roadway, okay, there's no cars coming this way, and I don't see any coming that way. I want to make sure so that I don't cross the roadway when that's going. That's a sub 250 drone.
All right, Roger.
I don't have to be that careful, but
And Mitch, this pertains to you also. I have a new problem. I've been a 107 for 3 years. Okay. They just turned around now and made it so you cannot call the air traffic control tower if you're a recreational flyer. So I called when I did my last flight. Yes, that's the law now.
Yeah.
So I cross, I'm about a mile from the airport when you see this condo flight. And I called the air traffic control tower to do my normal. And he said, we don't allow phone calls anymore to the tower. Thank you very much. Click.
wow. That's a requirement over here. If you're an advanced user,
If you're a 107 pilot, you need to get your waiver either through the Lance system, if it's.
We have no Lance system
I
here.
know. That's what I'm saying. Either that or the old-fashioned way, where you apply for it in writing through the FAA, wait 6 months or a year, get it turned down anyway.
yeah.
I have a wide area airspace authorization at 150 feet.
Then fly.
Yeah.
But I'm still saying that look how much harder they just made it.
Of course
for
they
us
do.
to feel
Why do
secure.
you think I'm not doing? I was going to do the sunrise. Remember the slot that you're doing on Saturday morning? I was going to do, and the day before I was going to do it, they changed the law. Now I can't do it without worrying about breaking the rules again because
Now,
I had a,
wait. Let me ask a question. Because I know that in air maps, in most areas, if not all, it shows you the altitude that you can fly up to if you're inside a TCA.
right.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
so if you're 107 and you're following all the rules and you don't break that ceiling, you don't need a waiver, or you don't need to
Yeah,
call
you
anybody.
do.
You don't need to do anything.
Legally, you need, even though it says where my house is, for example, it's 400-foot ceiling. Across the street from me, it goes down to 200 feet. Okay, but
It's an E2 runway.
there's a square there for the Lance system that if you want to fly legally, you have to click on it and register and get a clearance. Now, when I click on it, it says Lance will be active in the near future in this area. So I'm stuck.
He's 10 miles from me, but I fly in Mitch's area.
But now I thought you said that the ceiling is 400 feet.
That's for when you get a clearance. That's for when you get a clearance. In other words, they're telling you that if you could get
How far from the airport are you?
4.5 miles. But I'm on pretty much on the approach path.
It's the
What's your restriction there? Is what's the mileage from the airport that you had to be
5
outside of
I
5
can drive a half a mile away and fly
In
all.
Air Maps, if you open Air Maps and select it to Hobby Flyer, it shows you a 5-mile radius.
Yeah, I have it.
If you switch it to 107, that 5-mile radius goes away.
No,
down to 1 mile.
I'll show you, Mel. I'll open it right up on my phone here, and I'll show you exactly what I'm looking at here.
It should go down to 1 mile if you're 107.
If you're logged in to Air Maps with an account
Here,
and
I don't
you're
need-
107, that 5-mile radius goes away.
Yeah,
And if you're
yeah,
reporting out miles, you're
no.
legal no matter what.
Mel, can you see the blue circle?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm inside that blue circle. That blue circle is divided up into all kinds of squares for the land system. And in each one of those squares, it tells you what the ceiling is, but I can't get the automated clearance yet. They have not activated it. So I'm at a
But Mitch, what I'm trying to say is,
You're okay anyway.
if you're 107
yeah.
and you fly below the ceiling and you're logged into your Air Maps, that 5-mile radius that you got to stay away from the airport goes down to, like Jim said, it goes down to 1 mile.
You're taking
You're
away a lot of
legal.
squares.
You're
This is
legal to
still a
fly there
5 mile-
anyway.
this is still a 5-mile blue circle.
Doesn't matter.
No, as
Yeah.
107, you're
Yeah.
automatically down to 1 mile.
Yeah.
That's a
It's
fact.
not being reflected, is what he's saying.
No, Air Maps is not up to date because
No,
we do
it's
not have
horrible
land
for
Well,
us.
here.
it's not
In
perfect.
Canada,
It's
it's
not
not even
perfect.
Air
They're
Maps,
still
but-
building it. They're still working
they're
on
still
it.
building it.
Yeah.
At any rate,
the fact
I'm
is,
just,
regardless, Mitch,
I'm
the
not
fact
gonna-
is, but according to all of the rules, you are legal to fly there.
And on
Okay.
top of
Yep.
that, I have the wide area airspace
you do,
authorization.
but I don't have that. What I had was my buddy at the tower over there at Melbourne, who I talked to a couple of times, basically said, "Listen, we stop calling us. You don't need to call us. We're too busy to take the call. Just fly. Just stay under a certain altitude, and we don't care."
Yeah.
So I said, "Hey, that's great."
Exactly.
Yeah. There's
That's
that
They-
what
too.
they
they
tell you
were-
anyway.
They were a bit ruder to me this last time, Mitch,
Yeah.
and they're always very cordial. But this time, they simply said, "We do not accept phone calls to the
Yeah.
tower anymore. Goodbye."
Goodbye. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's because of all the 107s in your area, no doubt, because they're all friggin', calling the tower, and that's just, man, that's.
We're
it's
trying to be
extra
legal,
work for
man.
them.
We're just
Oh,
trying
I
to be
know.
legal.
I know. But
The-
think about it. How
the
many
thing
people
that
are in the
bugs-
tower that day, and how many calls are they taking from 107 pilots on top of it's extra workload for them that they don't want to have? That's
I
all.
know.
Here's the thing that bugs me about the federal airspace system. I've been a pilot all my life. I've flown jets and I've flown multi-engine and everything, and I've participated in the airspace system all my life. I filed flight plans, instrument flight plans. I was a flight instructor, and I got my needs taken care of. When I called the tower and told them who I was, they jumped to it. They told me your clearance is, copy your clearance and you're cleared to here and go. Now that I'm a drone pilot, I'm a nobody, but I'm still the same tax-paying citizen that I used to be, and it
Correct.
pisses me off.
That's because
Now
PPL has more.
I'm not in
PPL has more weight.
airplane that I don't have the same right to the airspace as I did when I was flying in an airplane.
Right.
PPL has more weight to it.
GA.
Pilot's license.
Yeah, general
Or
aviation.
general aviation, sure. Okay.
But as a citizen of this country, if I'm an airspace, if I'm entitled to the use of the airspace, why should I be less entitled as a drone pilot as
And-
long as I follow the rules for drones?
I'll tell you why. I'll
And
tell you why. It's
also, the
same thing
rules
that's going on
say
here.
to
It's the government crushing.
advise air traffic control.
Right.
The rules say to advise air traffic control of all flight.
You have
So
to
I'm
do it.
trying to comply with it, and they won't let me.
And they won't let you.
Go do it anyway. They're saying.
End of subject.
Stop
right?
calling us.
Yeah. And
Really, I looked at myself and I said, well, what should I do? And I said, well, to myself, I said, well, I have the wide area airspace authorization. That's what I
Go
got
for
it
it.
for. So I flew it. Now
Yeah.
let them
Yeah.
come back.
I
at
would
me,
do the
and
same.
Let's get it to
Yeah.
30
Until they get everything set up with Lance, it's just, everything's just pretty much in the air, and you just gotta go with common sense.
Yeah.
They don't want you to call the towers. You can't call
Don't
the
call 'em.
towers. Don't call them.
But someone like me, I feel guilty. I feel that I'm doing something wrong You know
know
what
what
I'm
You're
talking
not,
about.
but you're not, and you know you're not. As long as
Yeah.
you're at least a nautical mile or a statute mile
Yeah.
from the
You know how
airport. Okay.
you know how the air traffic control sees it. They don't want you to call.
Yeah.
But they
They've made
made this stumbling block themselves
Yes,
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So you get my
Oh,
idea, my
Yeah,
thought.
absolutely. It's the government, man, and they're listen. They don't care about. They need to have something. They need to have something in place, and here it's kind of the same way here. They need to be able to have something that they can go to and legally charge you with if you do something really stupid.
Right.
Now let me tell
That's
you.
the bottom line.
Now
So
let me
they're
tell
gonna
you.
wait. It's
Let me
for
tell you
when
the
something
rest of
happens.
the bottom line. Let me tell you the rest of the story. Okay. If you're flying a mission, a paid mission,
Mm.
okay, and you're legal, and you know you're legal, even if you're kind of right on the fence, they don't have the manpower to enforce it or police
No,
it.
very much so here.
So-
Very much so here.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you a little secret, guys. One of the pilots that I was flying with out in California, we went to Alameda. At the docks at Alameda is the USS Hornet. Now, we both flew that aircraft that day, that aircraft carrier. We both flew it with our drones. When we got ready to start flying, a security guard, okay, came by and said, guys, I don't want to take your thunder, but Alameda has a city ordinance against flying drones in this area because of the mating ritual of some kind of bird. Okay.
Yeah.
So my buddy that I was with is ex-New York State law enforcement. So he knows how to navigate the websites and things to find city ordinances and things like that.
Turns out it wasn't.
He couldn't find it.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
could not find it. So
Hero
based
cop.
on that information, we flew. Okay. Then I went back with, let's see. Yeah, I went back with my, with an action cam and a 360 cam, both on selfie sticks. And I walked the aircraft carrier. Okay. Because it was closed that day. There was nobody there. Nobody. I mean, the parking lot was empty. There wasn't no employees there. There wasn't nothing there. No volunteers, nobody. So I went back one day when they were there. I paid my admission fee. I went aboard ship. I walked around with my 360 camera on a selfie stick. And when I got back to the hotel and looked at that video, it was absolute shit. It was useless. I forgot to keep in mind that when you're walking with a selfie stick, a 1/4 inch of movement with your hand is a 1.5 feet of movement at the other end of the stick. All right.
Oh man.
So the video was absolute junk. So I went
Make you
back.
sick.
I went back again, and I took my tripod and I set my 360 on tripod and let it film a little bit. I filmed the hangar deck. I filmed the flight deck. I filmed the bridge. I've got 360 video of me sitting in the actual captain's chair on the bridge.
Nice.
All of this stuff, and I'm doing all this and I've got a crap ton of video to edit with this. But next bay over, and I call bay because it was a little enclosed area with jetty around it and stuff with only about a 20-foot wide opening. When the guy that was giving me the tour of the ship, because I kind of got to go where some people don't get to go, we come off the bridge and there's a news helicopter in the air directly over the bow of the ship, filming this whale that had found itself trapped in this little area of the docks that was all blocked off by the jetty. And I thought, man, I'm going to go over there and check that out when I get done with this, right? So I get all done with everything I'm doing, and I drive over there just 400 or 500 feet away. And I'm sitting there watching, and there are people sitting, waiting with their cell phones pointed at the water, waiting for this whale to come up and go, right? I thought, man, I could fly my drone and get aerial. This would be so sweet. Well, about then, a Alameda police officer drove by. Well, I jumped in my pickup and go chasing him down the road, and I'm honking my horn and blinking my lights. I pull the cop over. So he stops, and we talk for a few minutes, and I said, here's the deal. He goes, yeah, man, that'd be really cool video, wouldn't it? And I said, yeah. He said, no. I said, no. He goes, yeah, there's an ordinance. There really is. I said, so there really is an ordinance. He goes, yep, there is. I said, well, a buddy of mine, you know, blah, blah, blah. He says, hey, you won't find it. I said, well, now, if someone like me from Tennessee is visiting your town, how am I supposed to know you got a city ordinance if I can't find it online?
Right.
He said, well, if you know where to look, you can find it because it's buried inside another ordinance, which is buried inside of another ordinance.
Yeah. Hidden.
I said, so there's no way for the average Joe to find out whether or not there truly is a city ordinance against flying drones at this location.
Exactly.
And he said, that's exactly true.
They want the money.
You will not
Yep.
find it. He
Yep.
said, now I
So
will
they can
tell
charge you.
He
Yeah.
said,
Charge you, but you can't know not to do it.
right. He said, I will tell you this. He said, part of the reason underlying that drones aren't allowed to fly right here, and it's not because of the bird. I said, well, you know, he said the bird. He said, no. He said, we use that as a front. But in one of these buildings that's probably not 2,000 yards from where you're standing, they build missiles and torpedoes.
There you go.
So that's
Yeah.
why we can't fly drones here. That's the real reason. Okay.
Yeah.
I said, well, the problem is the city of Alameda doesn't have the authority to take that airspace away from the FAA.
Right.
Right.
He said, that is also true. He said, however, I will tell you this. He said, I don't know of anyone that has been cited for flying a drone here. Personally, he said, I don't know of anyone. He said, but if you fly here, we will get not a call, we will get a 911 call
Wow.
Which
From
we
that
have
company.
to respond to.
from that company, which we have to respond to. And then, depending on the circumstances and the communication between you and the officer and so forth, you may or may not get a citation.
Yeah.
He said, but if I'm the guy that comes back because I've told you there's an ordinance and you can't fly here, you'd get the citation.
Right.
You were better off to just go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
I said, even though I'm a nice guy, he goes, he says, it doesn't matter how nice you are to me. He says, even when I come back, you could still be just as nice, but I'm still going to probably have to write you that citation because we got the 911 call.
Yep. Yeah.
So I'm like,
And you're going to have to be the one that fights it for everybody else.
exactly. So here's the
Yep.
deal. Here's what I learned from that. Do it anyway. You just don't get caught.
Yeah.
Okay. Now
In
I'm
those
going to
situations, yeah.
I'm going to post aerial video of the Hornet on my YouTube channel.
Mhm.
Okay. There's going to be no way in hell that no city of Alameda police officer is going to be able to track me down and write me a ticket for flying my drone.
No, absolutely not. Yeah. That falls under the enforceability factor, and it's the same
Not
way
only-
here.
Not only
Same
that,
thing.
but by the time that I truly learned that there was an ordinance,
You'd already,
You'd already
flown
done it.
I'd already blown it.
it.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey,
I would
guys,
turn
I gotta
around,
take
Put
off.
my hands behind my back, they cuff me because I've already done it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
Well, I gotta take off. I'll keep the stream open and listen to you guys, but my dinner is ready and I gotta go.
Well, I'm going to
He's
kill
hungry.
it. I'm going to kill it in about 7 minutes.
Yeah,
6
I
o'clock.
gotta go. soon,
Only
too.
because if Lloyd doesn't make it back home from the cabin in time to do his show, I'm gonna fire up on his stream and start it, and then he'll join in when he gets ready, because he doesn't want to miss
Okay.
Monday night. So
Well,
yeah.
we'll catch you
I
guys
got some
later.
stuff
then.
to do too.
So,
Yeah, I might catch back up with you after the fact in a half hour or so. But yeah, I gotta go
Sean, Mr.
do
Cross,
some stuff here
we're
too.
about to close up shop.
Thanks for having me on.
Well, thanks for joining, Roger. I appreciate the camaraderie and
Yeah, man, that was
Yeah.
a very, very, very
Was.
good conversation. Yeah, I like it.
wicked.
Yeah. And the Canadian versus the American stuff is yeah, it's similar in some respects. That enforcement thing, man, that's just across the
But
board.
I think you guys have started requiring some practicals too, haven't you? Which I like. I like the idea of that.
in what sense, like
In your commercial pilots, they have to.
Well, there's no
show
distinction
some-
anymore. I'll stick around for this one. There's no distinction between the commercial and recreational anymore.
you're
And
all
that's what's
past or
allowed
not.
me. That's what the class. There's basic, and then there's an advanced. That's the only two I'll talk about. There is another, but the advanced allows me to, if I was to get an advanced, I would have to have a flight review. I'd have to do a harder test, pay a little bit more money. The flight review would cost money as well.
Right.
You'd have to do that. You would have to call the tower if you're going to fly inside of the control zone. So where I live, there is an airport, a major airport, which has a control zone. I'm, as a recreational pilot with a basic license, I am not allowed to fly inside of that control zone unless that drone is sub 250 grams. Sub 250 grams, they're going, just be careful. Anything between 250 grams and 35 kilos.
Jeez, 70 pounds.
Yeah, that's
And a Volkswagen.
Who has a brand like that? Well, yeah, if you're not flying a Volkswagen, you're good. If you're advanced, you can fly inside the zone, but you have to contact the tower. They require you to have communication with the tower, VHF radio,
The whole thing,
to let
huh?
them know. Yeah, but now we don't have what's called SFOCs anymore for that application. So you don't have to plan stuff like, you don't have to wait for an SFOC to come back to you to be able to do an operation, because that's very, especially here, it's very critical with weather. Weather can play a havoc with that. So it'd be a shame to have something in place and be approved for it, and then you can't do it because you don't have enough of a window because your weather is bad.
Right.
I lost my train of thought on your original question, but yeah, the basic.
It was the practical testing for the 107.
Yeah, it's.
Pass.
I will tell you this. I know through Air Cadets and just applied things, I do have an interest and knowledge of basic airframes, and I have flown a plane before. I'm not a pilot like that, but
I'm not a pilot either, but I was an aircraft mechanic in the Marines. So
Okay, yeah, no, I've flown small planes for over several hours.
Yeah, my
I
dad
love
owned
it.
one.
Right, I love it. But
Got a lot of stick time.
what they require now in the test, it's very generic, and it takes a page right out of GA. You basically need to know things that you would never ever need to know as a drone pilot. Is it safe to fly? Well, weather stuff and whatnot.
ours has clouds in it. If you have a cumulus
airframe
cloud,
stuff.
and the humidity is this, what kind of weather is that called?
I mean, they're talking about density altitude stuff,
ridiculous.
Yeah, there's ridiculous stuff in there, and I was even like, I had to take a second hack at it because I was not prepared for some of the questions. And the other thing about it is the study guide. There is no real study guide. There's no one place you can go to, supplied by Transport Canada, that you can go to, look at all the things and go, okay, it is open book, but you have, like you were saying, it's a with the ordinance there.
No.
It's something within something else within something else. It'll take you 10 minutes to find the answer to one question, and you've got a time limit on it. Now, the only thing is that one of the good things is that they allow you after 24 hours to retake the test after you pay again. You have to register your drone. I don't mind that. So both my drones are registered. It costs $5 each. That's permanent, and your rescindance on your pilot's license or certificate is 2 years. So for $10, 2 years, that's great, and it allows me to fly commercially outside that control zone. So to me, although I don't agree with the testing, and I don't agree with how that's done, it does take a lot of the whack jobs out. People with enough money, but not enough up here.
No, it doesn't, because they just go fly anyway.
Yeah, well, and that's the other. There's so many facets to this. That's the other thing, and to come back to what we were saying before about the enforcement around here, unless somebody calls, squeaky wheel gets the grease. If nobody calls, you're golden. You can put it up. I've never heard of anybody getting charged over a YouTube video or anything like that. But time is going to tell. I do think there's a certain part of me thinks that they will try to find a scapegoat. And I've been talking to police officers on both sides of the fence here, both the local cops and the RCMP, which is more of a nationwide thing, which we do have here as well outside the city.
Power local law enforcement is what I think. But go ahead.
Sorry, say that again.
I said I think they're going to empower local law enforcement to enforce FAA rules.
They will, but guess
On
what?
us.
There's more. There's better things for them to be doing.
Oh yeah, of
And
course.
they're not
moving.
going.
They're-
They're not
they're-
going
they're-
to be doing it. I've been
they're
told
doing
this
that
by
already.
police officers. Yeah, they have enough on their plate. They don't know what's going to happen. The guy's going to shoot some video. He's going to get his drone down. He's going to go home and he's going to put it up on YouTube.
Yep.
They're not
And-
shagging
and-
with it.
And most of the local law enforcement that come out are not going to have the
wherewithal.
knowledge base.
Knowledge,
That's right.
skills, or abilities
Yeah.
to make a judgment call.
You know,
Basically, in my Spark, I can say that's 250 gram drone, officer.
He won't know what the hell you're
248
talking about.
grams. They're doing. What do you got? A scale in the back of your car?
And if you look at the
You wanna weigh
FAA
it?
site, they have a little PDF for law enforcement, for LEOs, law enforcement officers. Little PDF. What is and what isn't.
yeah,
Come on now. That's a wide
Yeah.
open
exactly.
So,
interpretation,
here-
blah, blah, blah.
And if you can
Dave-
demonstrate, if you can demonstrate to the law enforcement officer when he approaches you, because someone called and said
That you have the knowledge. Yeah.
you have your 107 certificate, you have this, you have that, you've got all your ducks lined up and your T's
Yep.
crossed and your I's
Yep.
dotted. He's
Yep.
going to think you're going to be able to bullshit your way out of it, whether you should be in trouble or not.
Yeah, they're just not going to shag with it because the first thing I'm going to show, if an officer comes up to me and I'm already landed or whatever, hey,
I've
how
had
you
it
doing today?
happen
Here you
twice.
go. Here is my, and I'll actually show it to you. And this is how quick I can get this up. There is my pilot certificate.
Yep.
Can we see that? There's my
Well,
pilot
you don't-
certificate
don't
right
show
there.
that.
That's enough.
Don't show that.
Transport Canada,
Don't show
right
that.
there.
Don't
As soon as
show
they
that
see
on the
that,
screen.
if they see that, they're going, okay, well, I guess you know what you're talking about, and you
Yeah.
know,
Yep.
you're
Yep.
fine.
We have an ID wallet card that we show them.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a PDF that you get once you've done the online exam. You just download the PDF, keep it with you, and then you keep your certificates for each drone that you have as well. So I got that on there as
our
well.
fun part is that our ID cards actually have an expiration date on them. And you
Mhm.
don't get a new updated ID card when you recertify after 2 years. You
Really?
have a piece of paper that you download that is your recertification certificate.
Oh,
That you
you-
now
Oh, I
have to
didn't
keep
know you
along.
don't get a new one.
No,
I've
you
not
don't.
had to renew mine yet. So
You don't get a new card. So
But
that's
but
just
it's
another.
it's a rescindance, isn't it? Is it a recessance or rescind? I can't remember the word.
It's
Anyway,
recertification.
yeah. So they send it out in a different format.
It's a
But I do
downloadable.
agree.
They can mail it to you, or you can download it from their site.
I
Right.
do agree that if you're going to make everybody take a written test, then you ought to make them take a road test like getting their driver's license.
Yeah, I agree too.
Yes.
That's where they put the flight review in place for the more critical part of it, which is the advanced users, which are no doubt, if you're going to go through that, you're going to be trying to be flying inside that control zone. You're a lot closer to airport. You're
Good night, Rodney.
over the city, and yeah,
Bye, Rodney.
they're going to do that. But anyway, I got to take
Okay.
off.
Well,
We'll see how it
Thank
It's been
shakes
a
out.
great
Roger.
chat, boys.
thank you, Roger.
Yeah,
Stay in
I'll
touch.
be back on later on. Yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
Stay in touch.
Right, take care, guys.
Going to be
Sure.
on
Hey,
Lloyd's
Roger.
show later tonight in about an hour. So
I'll
I
check
hope
you out.
everybody tunes in for that. It's going to be
All right,
either him or me or both or something. So
Cheers, guys.
we'll get something there.
Bye, Roger.
So
Um,
it sounds like their laws are getting real close to ours, doesn't it?
Getting real close. Yeah. Maybe even more. Because for their high level testing, you have to do a practical test.
Yeah, and
And we don't.
right. We've seen a lot of people who don't know what they're doing. So
Yeah.
You
So
really
anyway.
should have a flight test.
Yeah. I think so. I think they had a practical
I agree
test.
with it. I
You
see
know.
nothing wrong with it.
No, if you want to fly, you got to demonstrate that you can handle it. But anyway, I'm going to just click stop the broadcast. You guys are welcome to stick around for a few minutes. But I'm going to shut the YouTube stream down right now. Thanks everybody for joining in chat. Sonia, Sonari, Peter, Rodney, Herb FPV, Sean, Mr. Crawley, Ronald Lockwood, Mike Roach. That's just the short list I can see right now.
Yeah.
Appreciate everybody coming in and participating today. We had a great panel. We had a great conversation. I'm glad I did this now.
It was a good convo.
Yeah.
See
Okay.
everybody later in the chat.
Here goes the button.